Good afternoon, Rio Vista. This week's agenda was intentionally short with just 2 items, both of which were very exciting from my perspective. On July 1st, we received the final audited numbers for the 2024-25 fiscal year, and the news was better than expected. The city's general fund balance increased by $982,653. Even better, MUN CPAs and Associates issued no management letter, which is a good thing, as those letters are typically used to flag control deficiencies or recommended improvements. Now, before anyone starts visualizing where to spend this windfall, there are important caveats. Much of this positive result came from one-time revenue sources, not income we could rely on year after year. Measure K revenue began to trickle in, and investment interest performed better than expected. We have already allocated Measure K funds toward much-needed road repairs, and we continue to face risks related to storm drain failures, most recently on Main Street near Lyra's, which I'm sure many of you have seen. These repairs come directly from the general fund, and the current 45-cent storm drain fee does not cover even basic system needs. A huge thank you to Finance Director Jen Lee and her entire rockstar team for keeping us on solid footing. Thanks so much. Our second agenda item took us from not-so-sexy spreadsheets and modified accrual accounting to something everyone has an opinion on: branding and color palettes. Let's be honest, very few people weigh in on balance sheets unless they have a background in finance, but everyone is an expert when it comes to logo colors. As I mentioned before, this project has been close to my heart for more than 10 years, not just because of my creative background, but because economic development depends on having a defined and consistent brand. The logo is just one component of that. This effort began in August 2024, and in March of 2025, we authorized a 3-phase branding approach with Chen Design leading the work, and a review committee was formed at my recommendation. That committee included the president of the Solano Economic Development Corporation, branding agency executives, and leaders from several local service organizations. Together, they work collaboratively to guide the design team and ensure the branding reflects Rio Vista's core values. I'll let Josh tell that story in more detail.
It's PMS 2186, which is a deep, rich blue, followed by a secondary color, supporting color. This one is more of a dusty blue rather than a sky blue. So 2915, and then with the tertiary color palettes being similar supporting colors. And how that gets kind of rolled out in some of our mock-up examples. On the next slide, you can see how that overarching effect is more primarily the blue being forward as opposed to the first direction where you get more of that green. We like either directions in terms of how it ladders back up to the brand and to where we want to go as the city in terms of how we kind of balance that that notion of the brand personality of being quirky, small town, but also advancing towards the future. Colors that are refined to the extent that they are more modern, more forward-looking, as opposed to maybe kind of looking backwards or more vintage feel.
We also discussed typography, which received little debate and was approved as recommended. You can listen to the design discussion beginning at 3922 of the council video. Public and council comments on color begin at 5812, providing helpful context for the council's 4-1 approval of the blue color palette. It's important to note that the design direction itself had already been approved previously, so speakers were asked to focus specifically on the palette decision. While I personally appreciated the vibrancy of the green palette, I also recognize that blue is a strong, timeless choice. Some suggested multicolored logos or multiple versions. However, based on my experience in marketing and brand development, I do not believe those approaches are viable for a city with limited resources and no dedicated marketing department. Simplicity and consistency definitely matter in this situation. I'm excited that we're moving this initiative forward, and I can now turn our attention to other priorities. If you remember, this process began with concerns about mismatched plaques, memorials, and signage throughout our town. Our first branding application will be the promenade signage funded through grants from the Solano Transportation Authority. Have an awesome weekend, head downtown to shop, and enjoy the holiday cheer, and happy holidays to all of you. This coming year is going to be epic.